Welcome, ladies, degenerates, and gentlemen, back to the DeGents pod. As you can see, just me today. My co-host Rich was busy with a weekend of travel. He did send me his record and a pick for tonight on Thursday, but it's just going to be me. So we're going to do a quick recap and then get into some picks. As for me, last weekend it was not very good. Ended up 3-6 in college. Wisconsin, Illinois, and Tennessee being my three winners, and the rest losers. Texas, a big one. Kentucky losing at Florida. We will get to those. And then NFL was 3-4, so not great, not really that good, but better than college. Uh, and then Rich said he went 3-8 in college, so pretty close to the same there, and 0-5 in the NFL. So yeah, that's tough. I think probably collectively that's our worst week as a podcast. Yeah, so that brings my total record NFL wise 26, 23, and 3. So still above 500 there. But college football is 29, 39, and 3. So that is tough. Definitely have to get back on track here. So let's do that. Quickly, I'm going to run. It was a crazy week of college football, as it seems to be every week now. Um, Started off with a good game at BYU. They stay undefeated 38-35 over Oklahoma State. Miami Louisville on Saturday was an awesome game. Miami squeaks out another win. Indiana absolutely trounces Nebraska 56-7. Missouri squeaks by Auburn 21-17. I believe Rich was on Missouri, and I was scared of it because they have Bama this week. Army stays undefeated against East Carolina. Tennessee, Alabama, another close one. Tennessee gets the win there, 24-17. Illinois, 21-7 over Michigan, a classic Big Ten game there. LSU destroys Arkansas. I was on Arkansas plus 3, 34-10. That game was never really close. Obviously, Georgia, Texas, 30-15. We were both on Texas, so that's a tough one there. We were together watching it at the bar, so it's tough end of the night, but overall great college football day. Um, just didn't pan out our way betting wise. So, all right, now quickly through the NFL. It's going to be a quick one here. Obviously, I've got nobody to bounce it off of, but quick rundown, and then I'll give you my picks and the one that Rich sent to me as well. But NFL wise, last week we started on Thursday. Broncos spanked the Saints 33-10. That was an easy hit to start off the week. I was on the 2.5 with the Broncos. Saints were just beat up, no wide receivers. Spencer Rattler was getting abused, and he actually ended up getting banged up at the end too. So easy win there. Then the London game, it was in Pats. They did not come through. They lose by 16, 32-16. It looked promising early. First drive, go right down and score, but they just kind of flattened out. And then Coach Mayo called them soft. So you could say turmoil in New England right now. And now we got the Jets at home. So we will get there, but I still think Drake may look good. Just not a good game against a reeling Jaguars team that needed a win, and we gave it to them. Next game, Bills 34-10 over the Titans. Bills scored, I believe, all 34 points straight because they were down in this game. Yeah, 34 unanswered points from the Bills after going down 10-0. Amari Cooper gets his first touchdown as a Bill, which was awesome. But yeah, no surprise there. The Titans stink. And that was a Mason Rudolph game too, and they still stink. So, next game was a banger. Texans Packers. This one hurt Rich. a lot. I know he was on the Packers -2.5 or maybe 3. They win 24-22, just enough to not cover on a last-second field goal. Or was that the Vikings game? Hold on. Yeah, last-second field goal from McManus. But that was a great game, and the Packers get another win. Texans played well too, but just not good enough. Stroud only 10 for 21 and 86 yards. Mixon really carried the offense for them. I don't know what was up with CJ today, but credit to the Packers defense. They've created the most turnovers all season in the NFL. So good game there. Next game, Eagles revenge game, 28-3. Saquon running all over the place. 2 tutties. No surprise there. This game was actually closer than it looked in the first half. No points in the first quarter, and then as soon as Saquon punched one in, and then a deep ball from AJ Brown, it was pretty much over at 14-0. Next game, another banger. Lions-Vikings. Lions also win on a last-second field goal. Or not last second, but last 15 seconds. I was on the Vikings here. Actually, I don't know if I was on the Vikings for the show, but I did like the Vikings. Great game. Just Lions had the ball last. And they squeaked out another one. That NFC North division is unbelievable. Next game here, we got Seahawks at Atlanta, and they destroyed the Falcons as they get a little bit healthier on defense. They win 34-14. Kirk, 2 picks. Geno, no picks. DK did get banged up a little bit here, but Seattle went on the road and showed up big time. So big win for the Seahawks and disappointing loss for the Falcons. Next game, Bengals-Browns, kind of a stinker. The Bengals do squeak out a much-needed win. Deshaun Watson out for the season with a ruptured Achilles. Jameis going to start this week. We've been shitting on Deshaun all year long. Never wish for an injury, but probably will make them better in the long run, honestly. Hope he recovers. But Bengals win 21-14. Next game in Indy. The Dolphins still without Tua, although he is off the IR and expected to play this week. They did not have him last week, and the Colts win 16-10. As bad as Anthony Richardson was, 10 for 24 and 129 yards, with no Jonathan Taylor, they find a way to win the game. So keep him in the game. He'll get the experience, and hopefully he'll be better. Didn't turn the ball over. So that's good. They get a win. Next game, Panthers at Commanders. All Commanders here, and Jaden got hurt at the end. He's going to be fine, but he might not play this week. The Commanders won 40-7 here. And then Andy Dalton got in a car accident this week. So we'll have Bryce Young coming up this weekend back under center for the Panthers. I don't think that changes anything. If anything, probably makes them a little bit worse. But the Commanders keep rolling, and they got the Bears this week. Next game, Raiders at Rams. Rams win 20-15. Cooper Kupp was expected to play all the way up until game time, ended up not playing, but the Rams still get the win, and he will be back tonight on Thursday. Puka's off IR. He'll probably take one more week to come back, but the Rams find a way to win a ball game without 2 of their stars. Next game, Chiefs are the Chiefs, man. 28-18 over the Niners. This was one of my few wins on Sunday, Chiefs money line. The Niners lose Brandon Ayuk for the rest of the year. They are just unbelievably banged up. It's actually crazy. Kittle hurting. Debo had pneumonia. I think he's going to be okay. But yeah, Chiefs are 6-0, and they still haven't played their A game. So it's unbelievable, really, to see Patty and the boys do that shit. But Niners got to figure something out at 3-4 and third in the division for sure. They need to get healthy is really what they need to do. And then last game on Sunday was Jets at Steelers, and it was all Steelers. Russell Wilson, first start of the year for the Steelers, and he looked incredible, throwing 50-50 balls to George Pickens, running one in, and the Jets are the Jets. They get Devontae Adams, and they still put up 15 points against the Steelers on primetime. So another excuse for them. They'll probably sign Randall Cobb or Jordy Nelson at some point, and they'll blame it on that. I love watching the Jets lose. If you can't tell, I've been saying it all year. And then 2 Monday night games: Ravens 41, Bucks 31. This was a good game, but it cost the Bucks a lot in Mike Evans being out till at least week 11 with a hamstring. And then less than a minute to go in the game, Chris Godwin fractures his ankle badly, turns his foot all the way around. So Bucks were in this one, and they were trying to come back, and unfortunately they lost their 2 best wide receivers, 2 best playmakers. That hurts for them, and you hate to see it, especially at the end of the game. Evans was out before half and was nursing it already, but Godwin was a tough one to watch at the end of the game like that, and he's done for the season as well. But the Ravens get another win. I mean, they look unstoppable right now. Derrick Henry just absolutely feasting in the second half every game. He had 20 rush yards roughly in the first half, and then he just comes out and busts out an 80-plus yard run. He's just a beast. And then last game, second on Monday, was Cardinals hosting the Chargers, excuse me. Chargers dominated this game statistically, but they couldn't punch the ball in the end zone. It was all Cameron Dicker, 5 field goals for their 15 points. And, Kyler and the Cardinals go down the field at the end of the game and get a game-winning field goal to take the win. So good for them. They moved to 3-4, and the Chargers moved to 3-3. Chargers were a little banged up, but they really don't have any receivers. Quentin Johnson was out. I don't know. I can't figure out this Chargers team. They seem like they should be tough, and they played a decent game, but they couldn't score. So they might need to get a weapon on the outside. Herbert threw 27 for 39 with 349 yards in this game, as opposed to Kyler's 14 for 26, 145, 1 TD in the air, 1 on the ground, and a pick. James Conner, 19 for 101. So yeah, I don't know. It seemed like the Chargers should have won, but the Cards pulled it out at the end. So that was NFL Week 7 and college football Week 8. And now let's move on to Week 9 and 8 in college football and NFL, respectively. I'm going to run through college quickly. Like I said, it's just me, so it's not going to be a crazy long episode. I will run through some of the bigger games and give out my picks. I'll start off with Rich because he's got 1 pick, and it's tonight on Thursday night, and it's Pitt -6. They are at home hosting Syracuse. Pitt has been one of the more surprising teams this year. He didn't give me a reasoning, but hey, Pitt's 6-0 and 5-1 ATS, and they're at home, so I don't hate the pick at all. Syracuse is 5-1. They've looked pretty solid, but Pitt has been rolling lately. So Rich is on Pitt -6, and that's going to be his only pick on the podcast this week. You can find his Twitter. He'll probably tweet out some more, but that is it for the pod for Rich. And now let's jump in. I have no Thursday or Friday picks. Friday night, though, there is 2 good games. Louisville at BC. BC catching 7.5 at home. I lean Louisville in this one, but Friday night has always been weird to me. And then the other Friday night game is Boise State UNLV. Obviously, Ashton Genty. UNLV has been really good this year as well. 5-1 for Boise State and 6-1 for UNLV on the year. I wanted to take Boise, but again, Friday night has been weird, and I think this is going to be a really good game. UNLV is getting 3.5 at home, so 2 home dogs on Friday night. I stayed off of them, but now we move to Saturday. I have a total of 6 college picks, starting off in the noon slate. It's going to be Virginia -4. If I can buy it down to 3. I will do that. They're hosting UNC, who is 0-6-1 against the spread this year. So I will take a solid Virginia team who's 5-1-1 ATS at home, laying 3.5 now, it looks like. So yeah, I'll probably buy that to 3 and give me Virginia there. Okay, moving on here. Is there any other good nooners? There's Washington IU, which is a good game. I believe I'm on this one as well. IU 7-0. I'm hopping back on the train, and I'm gonna lay 6.5 at home with Washington coming into town. Last week, I think, is the only week I didn't bet Indiana, and they absolutely destroyed Nebraska. So I'm gonna hop right back on. Washington has a really good defense. I leaned toward the under in this game as well, but I still like Indiana. I think their offense is good enough to cover by a touchdown here. Nebraska Nebraska Ohio State. Ohio State's laying 20.5. I got or 25.5. I got nothing there. Feel like it's a bit of a sleeper spot for Ohio State with as bad as Nebraska's looked, and they have Penn State next week. But I wasn't confident with Nebraska in 25 points either. So nothing there. SEC matchup: Oklahoma at Ole Miss. Ole Miss laying 20. Again, I wanted to take Ole Miss here, but Oklahoma's defense is good, and it's a SEC matchup, so you never really know what happens. Nothing there for me. Those are some of the better 12 o'clock games. Moving along here. My next play is going to be at 3:30. I'm taking Minnesota -4 or buying down to 3 if it gets close enough, which is at 4.5 now. So I still like it at 4.5 because Maryland travels to Oregon next week. After a big win against USC, an outright win as a 7-point dog. So big win. Now they are away against Minnesota with a look at spot to the number 1 ranked team in the country next week. So I'm going to lay the 4.5, hopefully buy it down to 3 with the Golden Gophers at home at 3:30. That is. And let's see. That's 3 of my 6, I believe. Yep. Next one is also 3:30. Another undefeated team, BYU, travels to UCF. They're catching 2.5 on the road with a total of 55.5. And I actually have 2 plays in this game, so I have 7 total. I'm buying the hype with BYU here. UCF at home, I know. But BYU 6-1 ATS. And UCF is 4-3. UCF has a really good run offense, but BYU basically leads in everything else. So I'm going to take a 7-0 team who's 6-1 against the spread, getting points, even if it's on the road. I think that's crazy that they're not favored. And I'm also going to be on the over 55.5 in this game. I like a lot of points. These teams combined 10-4 to the over this season. So I like that. 2 plays there for me at 3:30 again. All right. Any other good 3:30 games? A couple Big 12 matchups. Oak State traveling to Baylor. Baylor -6.5. Laying off that game. I can't win on an Oak State bet this year, either against them or with them. So I hate that one. And then TCU laying 6.5, hosting Texas Tech. Should be another good game. Again, TCU is a team that I can't win either side on. I laid off there. My next one is still at 3:30. I'm taking 16.5 points on the road with Missouri at Bama. I know Tuscaloosa is a tough place to play, but for a solid Missouri team, I think 16.5 is too many. And Bama has been making mistake after mistake, shooting themselves in the foot this season in close games. So I think Mizzou keeps it close. And yeah, I just think 16.5 is too much for a good team like Mizzou. Another good game that I was looking at was Illinois-Oregon. That's another 3:30. A lot of good 3:30s today. Good slate, actually, overall. Illinois is getting 21.5 on the road. I've been betting on Illinois a lot this season. I'm just a bit worried that Oregon may be getting better and better and better every week. So I'm going to lay off them here. And I'm also not confident laying any big spreads with Oregon because they haven't worked out even against some pretty bad teams. And I think Illinois is solid, but just wasn't confident enough to take it. And then another classic Big Ten, Northwestern at Iowa, Iowa laying 14. Total set at 38. No surprise there. No play for me either. Just a gross one. I've been pretty decent betting against Northwestern, but 14 points is too much to lay with Iowa, in my opinion. 4:15, Texas at Vandy. Texas laying 19 on the road. I don't know, man. Vandy's been scary. I think Texas probably bounces back, but I wasn't confident laying 19 with how dangerous Vandy's been this year. Florida State goes to Miami. Miami's still undefeated, even though they had some close calls. 7-0, 4-3 ATS. They're laying 21 at home, hosting Florida State, but that's a rivalry game, so you never know. I'm not confident laying or getting any points with Florida State, but I think 21 might be too much for the Battle of Florida. As good as Miami is and Cam Ward is, it's just a little too many for me. Lean towards the over there, but FSU's been 1-6 to the over this season, so as opposed to Miami 6-0-1. So no play. Let's see, moving on. I believe I only have, one more play. I believe it is, 7:30. One of the primetime slots. It's Penn State at Wisconsin. I am taking the 7 points with Wisconsin at home. It's 6.5 right now. I'm going to buy it to 7. Total here is set at 47.5. And Penn State has been really good, but they have Ohio State at home next week. And Wisconsin has been getting better and better as the year goes as well. So I'm going to take 7 at home in a bit of a look-ahead spot for the Nittany Lions. And I think Wisconsin keeps it close. They're really good at defending the pass, which maybe gives Drew Aller some problems. And cover the 7, hopefully. That's my last play. I'll talk about a couple other games here before we move on to the NFL. Same time slot, 7:30. There's Michigan State versus Michigan. 5-point favorite for Michigan. That's a good one. Always a good one. Rivalry game. Actually, kind of like MSU there plus the 5, but I'm not going to touch it. LSU, Texas A&M. That's a 7:30 as well. Texas A&M at home laying 2.5. I lean that way as well, but another SEC big game. So Kentucky, Auburn. I really wanted to take Kentucky. I've been betting them all season, but they lost 2 in a row. And even at home against a bad Auburn team, I'm a little nervous to take them here. They're minus 2.5. I would probably take the money line if I did take them. They'll probably be mixed in a couple parlays, of course, when Saturday comes around. Let's see, anything else good? Duke SMU getting 12 at home. And that's pretty much it. Colorado is 10-15. They host Cincy minus 5.5 for the Buffs. Haven't really bet on Colorado that much this year at all. I think once or twice early in the season, but that's about it for me for college. So I'll run through my picks one last time, and then we'll move to NFL. Virginia minus 4.5, 4-3, wherever you can get it. Buy it to 3 if you can. They host UNC, who is 0-6-1 ATS this season. Indiana minus 6.5 hosting Washington. Back on the IU train. Minnesota minus 4.5 to 3. Buy it to 3 if you can, hosting Maryland. Maryland has Oregon next week. Look ahead. So I like the Gophers at home. BYU plus 3 at UCF and the over 55.5. Getting points as a 7-0, 6-1 ATS team is crazy. So give me them. And I like a lot of points here. Missouri plus 16.5 at Bama. Again, tough place to play in Tuscaloosa, but too many points for a solid SEC matchup. And a Bama team that hurt themselves a lot in close games. And lastly, Wisconsin plus 7, another look ahead spot hosting Penn State. Penn State got Ohio State next week. And that is college football. And don't forget Rich's Thursday night pick of Pitt minus 6 hosting Syracuse. Now let's move to the NFL. Okay, so now obviously we start on Thursday for the NFL. It is the Vikings at the Rams. Vikings laying 2.5 on the road after a good game with the Lions. Total set at 47.5. I do have one of my four NFL plays in this game tonight. Cooper Kupp is back. And I'm on the Rams +3, not strictly because of Cooper Kupp. I know the Vikings are solid. Their defense is really good with Brian Flores at the helm. I am actually following the trend of teams that play the Lions do not cover the week after because the Lions beat them up pretty bad. And Cooper Kupp coming back here, Rams at home. I'll take the 3 and for them to keep it close. It seems gross, but hey, sometimes you just got to get in the mud and hold on. Then we move to Sunday. No international games this week. There is a Germany game next week, I believe, or maybe the week after, but nothing this week. Sunday, 1:00 is the start, Eastern Standard, of course. Titans at the Lions. Lions laying 11.5. Total set at 45. I have nothing in this game. The Lions probably blow them out, but I'm not laying 11.5 points in the NFL. Not this early, at least. Maybe in a Week 18 matchup where teams have quit, but nothing there for me. No news there. Oh yeah, Jameson Williams did get a 2-game suspension for performance-enhancing substances. Don't know exactly what he did, but pretty low suspension, so he'll be fine. Lions should roll. Ravens at Browns. Ravens laying 8.5 on the road. The total set at 44.5. Jameis Winston going to be the starter for the Browns. With D-Watt going down, they're going to bypass DTR and put Jameis in, so it should be exciting to watch. But because of Jameis being in, I have no play. Again, lean the Ravens to blow them out, but you never know. Packers at Jags. Packers -3.5 on the road with the total set at 49. I know Jacksonville can be weird, especially for teams like the Colts, but I'm laying 3 with the Packers. I think this Packers team is too good to be less than a 5-point favorite against a Jags team that, until they face the lowly Patriots, were completely reeling. So, give me the Packers -3, buy it down to 3. Yeah, no questions there for me. Next game, Indy at Houston, divisional matchup. Texans laying 5 at home with a total set at 46. Anthony Richardson still in. I talked about it a little bit. He found a way to win the game against a Miami team without a real quarterback. I don't trust him here. I lean the Texans, but CJ hasn't looked that good either lately. So probably a defensive game for the Texans. Maybe low scoring. But then again, the Colts defense isn't very good. So CJ could get back on stride here, and I could see the Texans winning by a touchdown. But I don't have a play here. Next game, Jets at Patriots. We do it again. We did it a few weeks ago. Jets absolutely stomped on the Patriots on Thursday night. They're laying 7 in New England with a total set at 41. I want to take the Patriots so bad, but I'm going to lay off, especially after a bad week. There's no reason to put money on this team right now. They're soft, according to Coach Mayo. So I really hope they win because I hate the Jets, and Rodgers is a sourpuss. So that'd be cool, but not worth the money to me. Eagles at Bengals. Bengals -3, total set at 48. Both teams coming off decent wins. I'm on the Bengals here though, -3, 2.5 if you can get it. I still don't believe in this Philly team. It was a revenge game for Saquon, and it still wasn't really that dominating of a win. The Giants just kind of gave up at halftime, and they still only scored 2 more touchdowns. The Eagles did. Bengals defense has been playing better the past couple weeks. Granted, it was the Giants and the Browns last week. But still, I like Cincy at home in a, I mean, they're pretty much in a must-win situation every week until they rattle off a few in a row. They're 3-4, and I just don't believe in this Eagles team at all. So give me Joe Burrow and the Bengals laying 3 at home. Next game, Falcons at Bucks. I had Falcons written down -2.5. Total here is 46. I had the Falcons written down after what the Bucks went through on Monday night, losing Godwin, losing Evans. Just very demoralizing. But then again, Atlanta got blown out by Seattle, and I wrote a whole reasoning down why I wanted the Falcons, and then I took it back, and I almost wrote the Bucks down. I could see Todd Bowles getting after Baker here. I mean, excuse me, Kirk. He's a statue back there, and the Falcons line is solid, but Todd Bowles likes to send them. I could see a lot of turnovers from caused by the Bucks defense in a game where everybody thinks the Falcons are going to blow them out. So I almost completely flipped to the Bucks, but I just laid off because of the waffling that I was doing. Last 1 o'clock game, Cardinals at Dolphins. Dolphins -3.5 with a total set at 46. Tua is off the IR and questionable to play. It says he's tracking to play everywhere I see. Not confirmed yet, so I have no play in this game. I think if he comes in, the line goes to 4.5 probably. So I lean the Dolphins at 3.5 now. If you think he's going to play, if not, wait, take the Cards. The Dolphins stink without a quarterback. But I got nothing here. It's kind of a gross game. Unless two plays, it might be a good game, but we don't know yet. Still, for the uncertainty, I will lay off. Moving on to the afternoon games. First one is Buffalo at Seattle. Seahawks are getting 3 points at home with the total set at 47. I'm going to take the 3 points with the Seahawks in this game. They had a big win last week against Atlanta. And I really like this Bills team as well. I've been betting on them all season, and I have them to win the AFC East, a future on them to win the Super Bowl. But Seattle's defense is getting healthy. And, I have to say, I'm on the Seahawks, but only if DK Metcalf is in. He's questionable right now, and I think he's going to go. But if he's out, I don't want to touch this game. But what I was going to say is the Seahawks have the number one passing offense in the NFL, and the Bills defense has struggled this year. Really against everything, not just the pass, but especially the pass. So if DK's in, give me the Seahawks getting points at home. I think Geno will dice them up. And they'll just have to stop Josh once or twice, who hasn't thrown a pick this season. So could be tough, but I like the 3 points at home with the Seahawks. Next game, Saints at Chargers. Really a gross one here. A lot of big spreads this week in the NFL. Chargers are laying 7 after losing to the Cards, but the Saints have no wide receivers. Although Olave should be back this week. Rattler questionable, but I think he's going to go unless Derek Carr comes back. So this one is just a whole lot of uncertainty. The Chargers don't really have receivers either, but that's just their team. Total set at 40.5. Maybe look towards an under here, especially if Derek Carr doesn't play. Yeah, but I don't want to touch this game at all. Next game, Chiefs at Raiders. Chiefs laying 9.5. Total set at 41. Another gross one. All the afternoon games really are gross, and I actually gave my last pick with Seattle for this slate. Probably tweet out a Sunday night pick, but nothing in this game for me. 9.5 is a lot to lay in the NFL, even though the Chiefs always squeak out a win. They did lose to the Raiders last year. Not the same Raiders team this year, but you never know. Raiders are at home getting almost 10 points. I mean, you could see it, I guess. Chiefs did trade for DeAndre Hopkins yesterday as well. Forgot to mention that. That's insane. But yeah, nothing there. And nope, 2 more afternoon games. Starting with the Panthers at the Broncos. Another 10-point spread. Broncos -10. I obviously lean that way with Bryce Young being at quarterback for the Panthers. Total set at 41.5. But then again, weirder things have happened than quarterback switch up and all of a sudden the team shows life. I don't think that will happen with Bryce Young, but I'm also not laying 10 points with the Broncos. Pat Surtain back this week, so probably probably a rout as the Panthers usually do. Get shit on. All right, last afternoon game is the Bears at the Commanders. Daniels is still questionable here. That's why I don't have a play. Obviously, if he doesn't play, I like the Bears because I'm not betting on Marcus Mariota. Commanders are getting 3 points at home though right now, so that would suggest that he's probably not going to play. Total set at 43. If you think he's not going to play, I like the Bears at 3 now, but the line will obviously change if Daniels is ruled out. So nothing there for me. I think it should be a solid game if Daniels plays. If not, probably not. Um, and then Sunday night, Cowboys at Niners. Niners are so beat up, it's insane. They're laying 4 points still at home. And the total set at 46.5. I got nothing here. I'll probably tweet something out. I don't know if Micah is back, but I still don't believe in this Cowboys team, even if he is. Let's see real quick. I'll find it out. Questionable. So we'll see. I'll tweet something out, and then the Monday night game is Giants at Steelers. Steelers laying 6. Total set at 36. Nothing there. Sunday night, Monday night, we'll tweet those out. But that does it. No Rich this week. He'll be back next week. I couldn't get a guest. I was busy last night as well. So this is about 2 o'clock on a Thursday before kickoff. So thanks for watching, everybody. Good luck on your bets. And yeah, like, subscribe, follow the Instagram, follow the Twitter for extra picks. And I'll see you next week with my partner in crime back. So peace.